Quentin Tarantino was being interviewed about Django Unchained, and he became a little touchy in the interview when he was asked about violence. So let's take a look at the first video. He's being interviewed by Krishnan Guru Murthy.
But why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
Well, I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
Okay, well, no, I was just asking you why. That's fine. But you see, Jamie Foxx has said we can't turn our back and say that violence in films.
Well, then you should talk to Jamie Foxx. Then you should talk to Jamie Foxx about that.
Yeah, look, I love Tarantino. I love his movies. I've gone on and on about how much I love Django Unchained. They're totally against him in that clip.
Yeah, and if you watch the entire interview, as I did, you can kind of see him getting more and more agitated as the interview goes on.
That's good context.
Because the reporter was not afraid to ask him some of the tough questions. And
what else did he ask him?
Well, he emphasized the violence of the movie a lot, and the reporter was doing a good job at trying to explain, like, look, I enjoy your movies, but given the shootings that have happened, do you think that your movies might have something to do with that? He's just asking him for his thoughts, and I could understand how a director or a filmmaker would get offended by that, especially because, look, he's been making these great movies for a long time, and now as soon as there's a tragedy in the country, people are pointing fingers to the media.
But then he should say that.
I know, and that's a good point. I think that he could have handled that much better. He could have said, look, I think that we have a problem with violence in this country. I'm open to looking at different studies that indicate whether or not.
I mean, he could have given a million answers, and we don't have to put words in his mouth. But look, the reason I really didn't like how that went down, in its core, is that the job of the reporter is not to sell your movie. I mean, so he's saying, look, I'm here as a big fat commercial, and play your role. Don't try to be a journalist. Don't try to be a reporter. You just play your role as a marketing monkey. Right, and so I hate that, and I think a reporter's supposed to ask him.
And it was interesting that he says that right after saying, I'm not your slave and you're not my master, and then he turns around and said essentially that I'm your master and you're my slave. I'm here to sell the movie. Do your part.
Right, exactly. I don't like any of that slave talk. Like the movie's about slavery, but don't make that analogy for
the movie's about revenge. But I mean, it's I don't know Quentin Tarantino. I like him a great deal too. I can't imagine he looks at that and thinks that went well. He should call that guy and apologize.
Well,
that guy had a nice suit on too. Like that guy came. No, but he came. Like that guy took it seriously. Like he was,
you can always depend on Ben to make a point about something that no one else is thinking about.
That's my role. But that guy was good. Like that was, and
he stuck with it.
Because he also didn't ask it. He didn't ask it in a, It's like Tarantino was prepared. Like I'm not going to take any of this right-wing bullshit misdirection when we need to be talking about guns and they're going to talk about violence. I'm not biting on it, right? And so he went in with that frame of mind. That's what I would guess happened there. And so then when he gets a person asking a totally legitimate question, which gives you an opportunity to say just that if you want. Like, hey man, this is misdirection to talk about this. You show me a study, maybe I'll think about it, but there's no direct, whatever he wants to say. Like you said, don't put words in his mouth. But he was ready, and then he ended up jumping on the wrong guy.
No. He lost his cool, and I hope that he reflects on it and thinks, look, the junkets are oftentimes, according to, and I've never been on the other side of it, but for the directors and the actors, etc., they say it's a real pain, and you have to go through the whole day, and people ask you a lot of silly questions. This guy was not asking silly questions, and I like that he was not intimidated by Tarantino bearing down on him.
He's great. That guy. There's hope for that guy as a real reporter.